Basically, every patch in Dragonflight was just revealed, according to Taliesin and Evitel's video here. And we're going to check it out and see exactly what they're talking about. Let's see.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here. Welcome to another episode of the weekly reset. Taliesin and Evitel's wondrous wisdom show, brought to you live from inside the official T&E Time Rift in a week where...
Oh, okay, I see what they're doing. I see what he's doing.
Okay, let's look to the show inside the Time Rift. In a week where patch 10.15 arrived, patch 10.17 arrived on the PTR, and what with the new Mega Dungeon and its 2 cinematics, and the epilogue quests to the dungeon with its 2 in-game cutscenes, and the PTR, which is chock full of tantalizing tidbits, both visible and sneakily hidden, but not hidden well enough. We now have a very clear picture of basically the entire future of Dragonflight as an expansion, including 10.2, which is probably only 4 months away, by the way.
Damn,
also
that's crazy to think. What?
10.3 as well, which I think will probably be the last major patch of the expansion, but which might not definitely be the last patch of the expansion.
10.3, we'll see. I mean, I think we might finish out the expansion again with a faded rating system or something like we saw in Shadowlands. We'll see if we're going to get a 10.3, or the 10.3 will come and it'll be, you know, like a transition patch. We'll get like some kind of invasion for the pirate invasion for the next pirate expansion or something. I don't know.
Dragonflight's just been a bit like that, really, hasn't it? Full of surprises of the mostly good variety, and usually involving just a ton more content than we would expect, delivered faster than we would dare hope. I stand by my position that this is legit one of the best expansions of all time, possibly the best, depending on how I feel when I wake up in the morning. And so we are going to be unraveling all of those clues, giving you a basic outline of what the rest of Dragonflight is going to look like. Every single patch.
Dragonflight is a good expansion. It's a good expansion. You can't say it's not. The content's been coming fast and furious. It's been a lot of fun to play. I will say, there's something about just, I don't know, playing WoW that it's like, like there's some days where I'm just not in the mood. But the good thing about Dragonflight is you don't have to be in the mood every day. You don't have chore gas to do or anything like that. It's okay if you don't play sometimes. You could still be caught up and be up to speed with everything. And that's the nice thing about Dragonflight. How much time I'm putting into the game doesn't necessarily, you know, is not a direct correlation to how good the game currently is. The game is good right now. It is. And it looks like it's going to continue to be good for the rest of the expansion because they've got everything laid out.
First, let's talk a bit about 10.15, shall we? Because you know I love this expansion.
It's tough to say.
I'll bang on about how wonderful it is every day for reals, though. But I think, to be fair, if Dragonflight has had a low point, it was probably the launch of this patch, where servers were repeatedly taken offline for maintenance.
I actually didn't have server issues.
For reasons that were explained. For example, when people found that they were able to solo Mythic plus 25 keys for some reason, which resulted in the servers being taken down and then coming back up again, just without Mythic Plus enabled at all for a little bit, but mostly for reasons that weren't explained.
How are people soloing Mythic 25?
Were constantly pushed back or abandoned completely, and features that were planned and advertised, like the sell all junk button and cross-realm mailing, completely scrapped and put aside for future patches. And perhaps crucially, whatever maintenance did happen, there was still...
They're doing another maintenance today, and cross-realm trading. I don't know if that's been re-enabled, but yeah, cross-realm, cross-server trading had to be disabled for a while. I was able to do it the day we went back live, like after the reset. I was able to trade. Somebody traded me gold from another server, but since then it's been disabled.
Noticeable problems that persist as I write this script. If I was trying to clickbait this, what I'd be saying is patch 10.15 is broken, fam. It's broken. It's trash. Time rifts. Now, time rifts
I've been enjoying time rifts.
Really good. They are a great feature, gameplay-wise.
Of all world content added to the game recently, time rifts have been my favorite. They really have. I love the way they're done, where like there's a certain time limit. You kill as much shit as you can in that time limit, and then it switches over to something else. They don't feel grindy. They feel fun. I like how many people are doing them. It feels alive. And I like the fact that there's variation between them. Like each time one pops up, it's slightly different probably than the last one you did, or it's a different storyline than the last one you did. There's still a bunch I haven't done yet. But I like them way more than the Farak invasions. I like them more than, what's it called? Those elemental invasions we had for a while. I even like them more than the Legion invasions, believe it or not, which were like the first world event Legion expansion related shit that we got. So I've been liking it. I've been now. There's been other world events like the Scourge invasions for Wrath of the Lich King and shit like that. But I'm talking about like these recent invasion style things. This has been my favorite one.
They take the best elements from Tuskar Feasts, the Zaralek Researchers event, and still manage to be reminiscent of those cool Legion portals in 7.3.
Yeah.
Lore-wise, they're an absolute delight. Just playful
Yeah, the
and
lore is great.
imaginative, and I absolutely love time rifts, okay? But also, they are completely unplayable for the most part. Basically, if there are enough people to actually fill out the bar for a top-level epic reward, and I need those 100 flakes and 30 Soridormi rep, okay? Then
Yeah, we didn't get it last
best
time.
you
There
can
weren't
hope
enough
for
people.
from most of the outside event is to run around desperately trying to tag mobs with instant cast dots or something, and then when you get inside the rift itself, just pray that it's not Ice Crown or the airship, because if it's either of those, then basically you cast an ability when you get in, and hopefully that ability will have happened by the time you die.
I haven't done Ice Crowd. I did do the airship, and no, I didn't do the airship yet. But the ones that I have done, there was no lag. It was okay.
Something that hasn't registered on screen yet. Or you just disconnect. That happens too. Why the heck is this Dogwater event kicking people out? If Blizzard's intention
So I
was to
did do the
pee off
airship.
players,
Okay, I was right. Yeah, I did do the
congratulations, Blizzard, you
airship.
Succeeded. First time doing
The airship
rift,
didn't
and
lag. We were good.
last time doing a rift. Was this not tested before release?
Ice
Blizzard?
Crown I have
just
not done.
wasted half an hour waiting for this crappy event and another half an hour doing it, only to be kicked out of the rift before even getting to touch the boss. Thanks for wasting my time, Blizzard. And you know what? Yes, all of these complaints completely justified. Let me make this clear. The state of the time rifts right now is unacceptable.
I feel like they
in
fixed
any
it, though.
game,
I don't
but
think it's
especially
been
a
that bad anymore.
subscription game. It's a major feature of the patch. The fact that it's still balked now, almost a week in, is completely unacceptable. Do better, please.
The lag is
Blizz.
insane for Ice Crowd, really.
But I have to say, I'm still really enjoying time rifts, you know? Like, yes,
They're great.
I would prefer it if I could play them as intended, obviously. But at the same time, there is an undeniable old school WoW enjoyment to be had from hundreds of people turning up in one place at one time, absolutely shitting on the best laid plans from Blizzard.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it when there's a ton of people in a zone. Just makes the game feel alive. I've always said it. If WoW or any other MMO can come up with a technology where everyone is on a single server, that'd be a game changer. Because that's the best way to play an MMO.
Turning it into a 1 FPS janky hellscape. It sucks that the airship event is impossible to complete half the time, but at the same time, it's really funny having 100 people all trying to click on the stupid jetpack things, and then every now and then, randomly, someone
falling.
just gets catapulted into the air, and maybe
die,
they
yeah.
made it across, but it didn't really look like they did. I don't know. It just feels like a real event somehow. Does that make sense? I totally love collecting all
I don't
of
know
the
when they'll
alternate
re-enable,
reality lore
cross-realm
items
trading.
and not spending any paracores or flakes, because half the time the rift I've done drops something from the vendors, so I'm kind of like, why would I buy anything from the vendors? I'll just stock up on this stuff until the end of the patch and then buy anything that I didn't get anyway. And that's the end of the broken stuff. Only joking. Augmentation Evoker, the new support spec, which if you are not the kind of person who follows WoW news, is absolutely dogshit useless.
One
Wait,
Death Knight, 22 Augmentation Evokers. It's not something you can find on the hub, unfortunately. It's something that really happened. The fucking Unholy DK was doing 13 million DPS because he brought 22 Augmentation Evokers into raid. It's been nerfed since then. Now you can only benefit from 4. Any single character can only benefit from 4 Augmentation Evokers at once. But man, it was crazy to watch when it was working.
Always bottom of the meters and should definitely be kicked out from your LFR Sarkareth.
If
with
Sam
full
knows,
status
he will have
determination.
his
But
Ash
if you're one of
banner,
those
yeah.
people who knows how to read Warcraft
We'll
logs,
see if it's in my vault.
augmentation is massively overpowered and is already seeing groups meme
Yeah, that's the video I was
avarice
talking
into an absolute
about.
pulp, with groups containing 22 orgs, enabling just 2 unholy DKs to do 21 million damage
crazy.
between them and killing
Crazy.
bosses in literally seconds. So yeah, it looks like Blizz is going to have to A, put some kind of cap on on how many augmentation buffs
They
a
did. The
single
cap
player
is
can
4.
receive to avoid that cumulative effect, so this spec doesn't just completely destroy all future content, make it completely irrelevant and worthless, while B, helping add-on makers properly display the extra damage they do bring on meters so that they're not kicked from +8 keys. And I mean, yeah, that's two pretty extreme problems with Augmentation Evoker right now. But I promised you reveals about the future, the shape of Dragonflight to come, and we will start with the 4 cinematics and cutscenes from the Dawn of the Infinite Mega Dungeon and its epilogues. And first of all, man, that dungeon is fun.
It's great.
We ran it on stream
great.
with viewers. We did the 4 hard mode achievements on the bosses. Absolute riot. I think in terms of story structure and delivery, it is the best dungeon WoW has ever given us. Although I have seen a little bit of confusion around that story, so allow me, if you will, to summarize. Basically, Iridikron has made a deal with the Infinites that involves them busting through the time ways to cause trouble. The Infinites Morchi and Chrono Lord Dios, oh no, he's hot now. It turns out want to go back in time and forcibly change Proto Drake, not even empowered by the Titans though Nosdormu, into his ultimate evil future self, Murazond.
Yes.
Iridikron, it turns out, is after the literal essence of Galakron, freshly defeated by our Friendship is Magic pre-aspect Proto Gang. So we bust through the time ways and follow the baddies to the immediate aftermath of the fall of Galakron, where we defeat Iridikron and stop him from getting the essence. Yay! But while we were doing that, Dios was just around the corner, succeeding in turning Proto Nosdormu into Murazond, and the timelines rewrite themselves accordingly. We find ourselves on a doomed, infinite dragon-controlled Azeroth. Damn. That sucks, obviously. So Chromie leads us back through the timelines again until we return to the same point. But this time, instead of fighting Iridikron, we go the other way through the caverns and defeat Dios, foiling his attempt to create Murazond. But of course, this time we didn't defeat Iridikron, and the dungeon ends with him triumphantly skedaddling off through a void portal with the essence of Galakron.
That's right. I didn't realize that because we went back, now Iridikron isn't defeated. That's some 5-head shit, or just I'm an idiot and I didn't think about like the actual thing that we were doing. But that's interesting. So yeah, he goes through the portal with the essence of Galakron. Oh shit.
You know, at least that's a problem for the future.
Yeah,
rather than
future
totally
patch content. We don't got to worry about it right now.
Present and future, which is what Galakron would represent, I suppose. In the epilogues, firstly, we have Chromie explaining what happened to Alexstrasza, who seems very concerned that with Iridikron gone, Firak and Viranoth are in charge of the Incarnates, and they will not hesitate to attack where the Friendship is Magic gang are weakest, which everyone agrees is the New World Tree, which we learn is called
the New World Tree.
And also, Nosdormu's pretty happy because he hasn't turned into Murazond, so that's nice too. But then, in another epilogue, we see Alexstrasza getting visited by Viranoth, and there's some really lovely lore interchange between these two, namely revealing what caused the war between the dragons in the first place. When the Aspects became the Aspects and created the Dragonflights, clearly there were loads of proto-dragons that did not want to become empowered by the Titans, and everyone was totally cool with that until one day the Titans just went ahead and empowered a load of the Incarnate's eggs anyway without consent, which is basically, I guess, the equivalent of someone genetically altering your unborn child in the womb so that it's not your baby anymore, which is essentially infanticide, and that's bad, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. Changing a baby in the womb? Yeah, there's just a little bit fuckery there. Huntsman, I don't know the answer to your question. There's augmentation. Burning, you're an augmentation evoker. There's some other augmentation evokers in chat. Do you guys know the answer to his question about the Sans thing?
That's really bad. Alexstrasza clearly regrets not stopping it, and you can kind of see why the Incarnates dislike the Titans so much.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
makes
team
sense.
Incarnate, honestly.
Yeah.
I expect this particular story will be explored in depth in the upcoming War of the Scaleborn novel. But what does all of this tell us about the future of Dragonflight? What will 10.2 be? Well, I'm glad you asked.
A massive orgy between incarnates, infinite dragons. Yeah. Okay, I am bald. Yes, I am.
What have you got to lose?
I'm balding. I know. I know, Jesus. I was saying, yes, it'll be a massive orgy. That's what the next patch brings. I think that's what he's going to say.
Kind of suspected this for a while, but I think with this and the Dream Surges coming in patch 10.17, it's now pretty much beyond
waste
doubt
to
that
this realm.
Paula, thank you for the follow. Welcome to our scourge. Okay, maybe I was wrong about the orgy content, but a man can dream.
10.2 will be set in the Emerald Dream. When I say
The Emerald Wet Dream. The orgy's back on the table. It's actually going to happen. I was right.
we've long suspected, I mean it. We made this video entitled We Go to the Emerald Dream in patch 10.2 in September 2022, before Dragonflight was even out of beta. This isn't going to be a shock for many of us, but the structure of it is quite interesting. The idea that it is specifically Firak and Viranoth leading the attack on the New World Tree, with Iridikron off somewhere else. And at this stage, I think it's very likely that the new zone to arrive in 10.2 isn't just the Emerald Dream, but based around Amirdrasil, the new world tree itself, with the raid that patch being the straight-up defense of the tree from the Incarnate attack. And honestly,
that could be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
a
that
problem
could be
that
cool.
some players have had with Dragonflight.
It would also be a nice change of like a scenery, because right now, you know, we got the whole, you know, lava dungeon, you know, aesthetic going on, with a little bit of void sprinkled in at the end with Aberrus. But it would be nice to get into like a green raid like that. Yeah, like all trees and shit and emerald dreamy. I like to see a variation in the aesthetics, right? That was one problem with Shadowlands. The whole thing just felt like one massive sex dungeon. The entire expansion was just a massive sex dungeon, except for you know, what's it called? The final raid, which I'm drawing a blank on right now. But anyways, the rest of it just felt like spikes and dildos, and it got very old very quick. It looks like they've been doing a good job of changing it up a bit in this expansion.
Far, including myself, is that there's perhaps a slight lack of urgency, of the stakes not being quite high enough a lot of the time. Being the defending side,
Yeah,
in
Sepulchre, the first one,
siege
had
of
a
a
different
world tree
aesthetic.
might help
That
to
was
bring
too
back
little, too
those
late.
against all odds victory or death vibes that I think Dragonflight kind of needs. Just as interestingly, Blizzard recently announced that 10.17 will bring new Night Elf customizations and heritage armor, which means those quest lines will happen before patch 10.2 and the potential new world tree stuff. Could the heritage story be a goodbye to various parts of Kalimdor, or is it a preparation for the arrival of the new tree that comes a patch later? What will happen?
Maybe a flashback to the burning of the tree too. I bet you there could be that. In the Heritage Armor questline, there could be some type of flashback to the burning of the world tree where you're experiencing it like as a Night Elf citizen. I could totally see that happening.
To Viranoth and Iridikron in this patch? Well, I think they're both going to die, but potentially one could go out heroically in the end. But yeah, I think we will succeed in saving the world tree. I don't think Night Elf players need to worry about another world tree disaster for a little bit yet.
I think it'll be okay.
Do they? Either way, after spending 10.1 underground, I think we will all be ready for some Emerald Dream beauty in a couple of months. But
agreed.
What about Iridikron? What about patch 10.3? I promised you reveals about 10.3 after all. Well, with
real quick. Is Iridikron a better baddie than the jailer? The answer is yes, he is. But is he that much better? Because one thing I hated about the jailer was the whole like big bad with the big bad plan that we don't know what it is and we're trying to figure it out, and he's fucking playing 10D chess and we're over here playing checkers. I don't like that storytelling style. And I feel like that's the only way Blizzard's been able to do their shit lately. Like with Wrath of the Lich King, it was very obvious. Okay, Arthas wants to turn the entire world into his scourge. That makes sense. He wants a giant army, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He wants to just, you know, take over the entire world. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Now, he did have a 5-head plan. When we enter Icecrown, right, we find out that the entirety of Icecrown was just a challenge for Azeroth's greatest heroes, so that we could get to him, and he could kill us and raise us as his greatest Death Knights ever. That was a cool 5-head plan. Why? Because he wasn't, you know, flicking our nipples and teasing us with it the entire time. It was like this reveal at the end, like, oh shit, we done fucked up. He was 2 steps ahead of us this entire time. That's cool. Rather than the you know, like I said, the teasing that, Iridikron or the Jailer did the entire expansion, where they're letting us know that they're 2 steps ahead of us. I think that kind of big bad storytelling isn't as cool as, a Lich King style storytelling. Sam, is he the bad guy, though? He watched the kids of his kin turned into monsters, basically. Yeah, good point. Good point. Is he the bad guy? Or are just his means, a little bit bad? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Jailer Nips, yeah.
I promised you reveals about 10.
We'll see. I think there could be some redemption for the Incarnates coming. Where, we are slowly realizing that, yeah, maybe they're not the bad guys. Maybe they're not. And maybe we're not going to kill them. Maybe they're going to come over to our side at the end.
0.3 after all. Well,
and put on pirate hats and go to the next expansion. Pirate expansion, baby.
On the Dragon Isles settled, all that remains is the true big bad of the expansion.
What's up, Captain
who's currently
Bunghole?
off in the void and not alone. He has
Season
now
2's
told
been
us
fun.
what his plan is explicitly. He has the essence of Galakron. The Harbinger will use it to, and I quote, pry the world soul from the Titan's grasp. And when the Titans return to try and reclaim the world soul, Iridikron is going to go all Illidan Sargeras on them and mess them up. The Harbinger has already been mentioned in Dragonflight in the Naga book that you find in the Forbidden Reach, and opinions are split as to whether the Harbinger in those pages...
Oh, not only is there going to be a pirate expansion, there is going to be a massive pirate expansion. Very pirate boaty, all kinds of shit. Railgun, it's coming, man. BFA was not the pirate expansion. BFA was the tease to the pirate expansion.
Refers to Ashara or Xalatath. As Iridikron passes through his Void Gate, we clearly see the silhouette of... Well, honestly,
Guild
it
Islands
could be
instead of
Xalatath
bases.
or High Elf Ashara, but I suspect it is probably Xalatath. As Song of the Depths talks about our queen calling out from beyond the umbral veil.
Yeah, I forgot Ajara's over there.
The Harbinger, and it reads to me like they are 2 different people. But what does this mean for 10.3? Well, now we know that the Harbinger is specifically who Iridikron made a deal with and is working alongside. The next part of that page is now suddenly very important. Even now, the Harbinger gathers the children of the first flesh to reclaim what was lost. They toil in the deep places. So what and where?
Shit, hold on. Wait a minute, is Dragonflight like the kinkiest expansion ever? Hold on. Is Dragonflight the kinkiest expansion ever? This expansion started as a play on furries, right? With the whole, be a lizard and all that shit and be a furry. And then it became like, some S&M shit with Aberrus. And then we're going to go to the Emerald Wet Dream. And then we're going to go into the Void for some hentai tentacle shit? Are we... What the hell? Oh my god, I just had a fucking realization moment there.
Where are the deep places? I don't know about you, but
Holy
my
crap.
mind goes back to the lore books that we found in Uldaman, and specifically the ones that talk of Sector 938, a geological anomaly which the Titans christened Kaz Algar, due to the race of earthen dwarf type things that are actually no relation to our dwarfs that evolved there under the curse of flesh.
Little
And
PNC,
my mind also goes back to Avaloran, a place whose heretical inhabitants clearly rose up against the Titan Keepers there and overthrew them, and who can't be taken on without risking the prisoners in our care, who are clearly the old gods. Are Kaz Algar and Avaloran the same place at different times? It seems very likely to me that one or both will be the setting of 10.3 and will be where Iridikron and the Harbinger will make their move on the world soul. And just to be clear, they have the essence of Galakron, which means there is genuine potential for a Void Galakron boss fight in this patch. And I'm just going to say that again. Void Galakron. Will the world soul be corrupted? Finally. Will Iridikron get his shot at the Titans? Will that be something that happens this expansion or in a future installment? I'd personally guess that we'll be done with Iridikron as a final boss of Dragonflight. It just seems to make sense that way, but I'm going to say it is very nice to actually know.
Even if there's a redemption arc for the other incarnates, I don't think Iridikron will get it. I think he's too far gone and we're going to have to kill him.
what the
Plus, he probably has good loot that we're going to want.
Incarnate's objective specifically is now. Firak and Viranoth are going to attack the World Tree. Iridikron and the Harbinger are going to corrupt the World Soul. Iridikron because he wants to lure the Titans back and beat them up. The Harbinger, so, well, she can have a void-corrupted World Soul, which we've been led to believe would basically be the end of reality. Seems bad, actually. I like this very much as a story beat so far. The idea that the Titans only protect this timeline, not because it's the true timeline, as we've been led to believe, but because it's the one where specifically the World Soul is. That actually, they don't care about us at all, and actually there's nothing sacred or important or true about this timeline in the slightest. It's only about that unborn titan that lives inside the planet. It's interesting in its own right, but also further lays the groundwork for us abandoning the Titan's influence, the sanctity of their chosen timeline, of breaking free from someone else's plan and doing our own thing. There's been some talk about Murozond that I just want to address quickly. Some people are of the opinion that Dawn of the Infinites solves Murozond, that we have somehow stopped Murozond.
I actually hope not, because that was too easy. I hope we get more Murozond shit. Plus, the Infinite Dragons are the coolest looking dragons in the game.
Happening now and never have to worry about it ever again. That's not my reading at all, actually. We've stopped one attempt in Dawn of the Infinites, an attempt that didn't actually match up with what we know of Nozdormu's transformation anyway. Nozdormu was sad before because he was convinced he got it wrong, and actually Murozond was imminent. So us delaying it is a massive relief to him, but it's still going to happen. It is still, as much as these things are, inevitable, but not in Dragonflight. Dev interviews confirmed that that's the end of the Infinite storyline for now, and I thought it was a good one. I really enjoyed it. So, with the future of Dragonflight mapped out,
it is called Dawn of the Infinite. This is true.
What is coming in 10.17 and beyond from the data. And as usual, we will be linking Wowhead articles to everything we discuss here in the description below. So, there is the Forsaken Heritage Armor, which is
pretty cool.
Banner Bay from the Sylvanas Sourfang cinematic, and also a little bit the Acolytes in Warcraft 3. But who cares about them? There's an undead banner too, so ting ting, motherfucker. Blizz didn't actually show the new
My favorite part about it is the Lordaeron logo on the cock cover. It's good.
Self Heritage in the patch preview, but people went ahead and data mined it anyway in multiple different color variations. And yeah, it kind of simultaneously manages to completely chicken out of going full vanilla BFA flesh reveal while also being acceptably flesh reveal. I think that'll pass. That'll do.
Good,
it looks cool. We've had our first look at those promised customizations too. New body and face tattoos for male and female Nelfs, which are nothing universe altering, but obviously very welcome. And the new Forsaken skin color options, which likewise. A new Druid of the Flame transmog has also been found in the data, which is absolutely baller.
Nice.
And actual Druids of the Flame, last seen in Cataclysm with their fiery red skin. These guys look set to crop up in those Dream Surges that I mentioned earlier, which I will mention again. I feel it's pretty unlikely Nelf players will be getting this as a customization option, but there are multiple recolors of that transmog set, so that at least looks like it's for us, probably as rewards from those Dream Surges I mentioned earlier and will mention again. Another customization option that was data mined before being confirmed by Blizz, and you might want to sit down for this one because I can hardly believe I'm about to say it, but for reals though, Eredar options for Draenei.
That's right, we talked about this. Yeah, the Demon Draenei. Yep, you're going to be able to make your red, you're going to be able to make Hellboy, essentially.
All-time number one requested and dreamed about customizations of all time is coming in.
Well, I would say High Elves were the most dreamed about customization of all time, but yeah, this is second.
10.17, purpley red and orangey red and deep dark dirty blue, new hair, and more importantly, eye colors. And it's just as well that this patch is a couple of months away. This one's crazy. Because I've just changed my Warlock to a Lightforged Draenei, Blizz, and I have to wait 30 days before I can race change him again to Draenei, to be Eredar at last. These options are unlocked via a quest line with Velen, where I guess we'll go and welcome some not actually evil, just as oppressed by the baddies as anyone else Eredar into the fold. There's one more healing act for Draenei in general, and I'm really sorry, but this really is a big deal for me. I'm extremely hyped by this. There has been even more mount types added to the database that enables dynamic flying or dragon riding with griffins making the cut. But just like the 100 or so drakes that made it into the 10.15 data, I don't think this means that griffins will be available to dragons. Dragon Ride next patch. This is clearly a long-term project to get all of the appropriate models ready
Agreed.
for when dynamic flying is eventually enabled throughout the whole of the game. Something I'd expect to happen in the last patch of
all
this
sponsored by
expansion or the
Squarespace,
pre-patch of the
what are you
next.
talking about?
Another interesting thing that's kind of been around in the data for a while now, but which looks like it's gearing up to be a real thing in 10.1.7 is the class gear sets.
Yeah.
Class-specific weapons and armor.
Of which we can all agree the Druid is the best one. Druid's the best one of these. I mean, I could, hold on. I could move my shit so you guys can better see this. I mean, these are nice. Death Knight is the shittiest one. As a Death Knight, it disappoints the shit out of me. But Druid, oh my god, right here, where my head is right now. That one, unbelievable. The Druid set is so beautiful.
Pieces. Now, whether these
And the Warrior set reminds me of Scarlet Monastery. So that's cool
connected
too.
to a quest line, 10 out of 10. Our new Mage Tower rewards, 11 out of 10. Our rewards
DK
for
equals
Dream
bugs.
Surge
Yeah,
events,
basically, it's
7.9
bugs and
out of 10.
cobwebs.
Or are just available some other way. Class-specific transmog, especially weapons, is, in my opinion, the most desirable rewards that you can put in this whole game. Like, you want me to do your
I
new
agree.
content?
That's
Give
one
me some
thing that made Legion
class-specific
so
weapon
great.
transmogs to collect, and I'll do any old shit content you can think of. Not that Dream Surges are shit, though. The events, which Gear Weaver, I suspect that might be a placeholder name, calls unlike any event we have ever seen. And, like, I wouldn't go that far. Happen in one zone at a time. That zone giving a 25% experience buff, by the way. You're going to be able to level in these things. And even though they are timed events every 30 minutes, unlike any event we have ever seen before, they also have a degree of preparation involved, too. Collecting Dream Surge coalescence from around the zone and handing them in to the Vote Weaver, which I suspect might also be a placeholder name, to take part in a server-wide election for what buff everyone will receive
No way,
during the
whoa.
event. A buff that
server-wide
everyone
buff.
in the zone receives every half hour. And that's fine. I mean, it's kind of meaningless, but it does facilitate flying around the zones collecting green blobs, which is actually really nice. The one event that I've been able to test so far was pretty rubbish, actually. Standard fill the bar stuff to close a portal. Unlike any event we have ever seen before.
Classic
But the suggestion
WoW
is that there will
event.
be empowered elites and world quests connected to it as well, and it drops level 415 gears, so quite a big catch up there. And I think that's probably going to be the main
415,
purpose
damn.
of these. A bit like a Forbidden Reach traveling roadshow across the Isles. Unlike any event we have ever seen before. Obviously, we will be keeping an eye on this as it develops on the PTR and letting you know more as it takes shape, as well as all the other 10.17 surprises that will be revealed in the coming weeks. We still have the Kalendor Cup and the very mysterious Secrets of Azeroth 2-day event coming up before then as well. There's just a lot happening in WoW right now. I've got about 100 videos I want to make on various topics. It's just a great time to be playing the game.
It's good.
I was just about to say that you weren't going to be here.
No, we ain't doing any chatting today, Tally. I have some very important business updates to give. I'm here to do the business. I come straight
Squarespace.
from swimming, but I'm here to do the business.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, let's say no more. Let's turn off the camera.
What's up, baby
Make
Jake?
some more money.
So there are lots of things to catch up on. One, we have some sick new t-shirts. Speaking of money.
You spent all day designing these t-shirts.
I did.
yesterday,
There are no
and
old
they
gods
are
at
our new
BlizzCon.
t-shirts for BlizzCon, right?
Yeah.
That's
For
pretty good.
BlizzCon, because obviously
Yeah,
there
ad
will be no old gods at BlizzCon. None.
What a brilliant way for people who are fans of T&E to recognize each other at BlizzCon.
Yeah, to be like,
and even
I
people
see
who
you.
hate T&E
Yeah, exactly.
can still
It'd
wear
be
them.
like wearing
Safe
the
in the knowledge that we've
Eye of
wasted all the money
N'Zoth
that they
at
spent on a
BlizzCon.
t-shirt on useless things that didn't even make us happy.
Yeah.
Whether you love Talius and Evertel or hate us, it's a win-win, right?
It's true. So, get your BlizzCon prep in early.
The link to our shop is down below. We might be changing our shop soon as well.
I think we are.
There's a chance that we'll do a complete refresh.
Yeah.
There's a chance that literally anything on that store right now might disappear
Oh.
forever.
Oh,
Might
get it
be
quick.
rotated out, right? So I don't know if there's something you
Get
like
it
on
quick.
there, now's probably the time.
Have a look. Other important news. My PC's all set up. Did you
Oh yeah.
notice?
So when I said that you spent all day working on this yesterday,
Yeah.
you spent all day working on it at your new PC,
there.
at your new desk, right there. You might have caught us last week when we were
This
playing.
room they
some,
set up is pretty
Dawn
great.
of the Infinite Mega
Not gonna
Dungeon. That's
lie.
great fun, by the way. On a dual stream, dual camera.
Mm-hmm.
We've now got the dual PC.
what an old god would
gaming
say,
setup
exactly.
happening as well. well. So
Yeah.
it's dual stream ahoy, man. You can
Yeah.
stream by yourself. We can stream together.
Aw, so
and
good.
you know, we can play WoW together. But the main reason we got that set up is for Baldur's Gate 3 in August.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
We are going hard on Baldur's Gate 3, like basically a whole week of just like not seeing our kids, but seeing lots and lots of vampires.
Pretty much.
Sounds like a good
And
time.
Speaking of the new setup and dual streams, we've got our little podcast idea coming to
Yeah.
life soon.
Ironically, not something we'll be doing on the dual setup because something.
I'm gonna
we
start
really wanna do,
posting
obviously,
group,
we stream
for
on
time-
Twitch,
for the
and we do,
time
like,
rift.
gameplay streams and just chatting and stuff on
In
Twitch.
game, so
but we've always
look for me under
wanted,
custom.
like, a proper WoW podcast, and we want to do like a video podcast because
that shit's starting in 4
I'm a big
minutes.
fan of YouTube video podcasts. Right
Yeah.
now. And half the fun of that is we can have it all in here, multi-camera setup, live streaming on the YouTube. It's going to be a Thursday thing. and
On
it'll
the
either be this
YouTube.
Thursday or the Thursday after that we start our first episode, and it's going to be us on a multi-camera shoot, like an hour and a half. We'll have some guests and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Every
Damn.
episode, and we'll talk about, I don't know, just WoW and stuff like that.
Just wow.
Oh, it'll be so good.
I mean, the bar is going to be pretty low to start, to be honest.
No, maybe rubbish, who knows. But see if it's rubbish or not. Check it out. One last thing before we go. We had a special weekly reset come out last week for the last episode, how to play 10.1.5. Good video, really pleased with
Oh,
it.
I didn't see that. Let's see that later.
We usually pride ourselves very much with our crediting of sources and stuff. Usually
Even though we've been
Wowheads,
playing
if you go to the
10.1.5 for a
description
while
below,
now.
there'll be loads
At least a
of
week.
kind of links and things in the description. We always do that. Last episode, we missed someone off, and I'm really sorry about that. Moody, who did a lot of work kind of repping up Soridorni with the Rift rep and finding out what all of the rewards were, because no one else knew. I thought it was common knowledge, but it was him that discovered it all in the first
Group is
place.
posted in
Sorry
custom.
for not crediting. Obviously, we fixed that now. It's in the description now. No one would ever know, but we wanted to say it here as well. So nice one. Patrons, we're going to be testing out Evertel's new stream setup for a Q&A, maybe, I suspect.
That's not a bad idea.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Let's do
So
it.
we look forward to that. See you later on this week as well. Maybe we should ask the patrons what we call our podcast.
Because I don't know what we're calling
I
it.
haven't got any idea.
No clue.
No, I used up my one good name with
The
WoW
gr-
Killer.
T&E.
Surely you mean The Grind,
Yeah, well, it's not
which
really
was
gonna
the
be-
best
E.T.?
morning
Call it
themed
E.T., yeah, there you
WoW
go.
podcast
Extraterrestrial
name you could
podcast.
possibly come up with.
Yeah, but only like 30% of the people that watched it was the morning for them.
Yeah.
So it didn't really apply.
I know, but that is clearly
It was
the best
good.
name
It was
we've
good,
come up
but we
with.
might need another new name. So
do need a
we've
new
used
name.
up 2 good names in WoW Killer and the Grind, and I don't
And
know.
I mean, the weekly reset was always pretty good.
Okay, so we've used up 3 good. You're just thinking of more good names that we've used up. You're making it harder.
You know what name is not good?
What?
Taliesin and Evitel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call it Dragon Tales. Done.
Very
Never heard of that name before. Never been used.
Rubbish.
People are like, oh wow, you do YouTube. What's your
what
YouTube name? Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us, thank our patrons who give the actual real life money to make all of our videos happen. Thank you. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Maudi. I covered both bases by saying his name both ways.
You did. Hope we got it right. Let us know.
My name is Taliesin from me.
And me, Evitel.
Good video.
Until next time,
Bye.
cheerio.
Thanks. Great one.